On this side, you would literally never know anything's going on here. But there was a lot of the buildings back there I noticed all had bars on the windows, so that's different. But the one thing I am noticing is if you notice, there's all these walls and fences. They've kind of barricaded to separate the homeless people from the rest of the buildings here. You have beer and liquor, sake. This is not a common thing. Yeah, so the deeper in we go, the more you begin to notice the area where everybody kind of like lives just in the middle of a park. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be actually doing something a little bit different here in Osaka. I've actually been here for a couple of days, but just been kind of resting and trying to regain my energy after this extremely long trip. I have been away from home for over 2 months now. We got about 8 days left to go here in Japan. Then I'm flying back to Toronto. But there is something that kind of caught my attention here. I was told about an area that is considered a slum here in Japan. I mean, we can call it that, although it's not really a word that's used here much. But it's a very interesting area because when you think of Japan, you don't actually think of places like that. And this is very much off the beaten trail, I guess you can say. So most people, when they come to Osaka, they obviously go to Dotonbori. Currently I'm in Namba, where I've been staying for the last couple of days, and many different places, you know, the castle, the expos going on right now. But I've kind of done most of the touristy things, and I like to come hang out here in Osaka, but I want to see something different, things that people don't normally see, like I said, here in Japan. So we are going to an area, and it's about 35-minute walk, give or take. Let's see how long we have to go here. It's called Kamagasaki, and there's like a several block radius where there's a lot of homeless people. This place kind of boomed during the 40s and 50s. Obviously after World War II, Japan went through a massive economic explosion, and obviously they started rebuilding a lot of the cities after the war, and that area was originally known for a lot of laborers. A lot of men from around the country moved there, lived there, and then eventually things in that area just kind of fell apart. People became homeless, a lot of, you know, elderly people that can't work anymore. People live in very small apartments. It should be quite different, but let's start our walk through kind of the normal areas here, and we'll walk into that area specifically and kind of document it and see what's really going on over there. So where we are right now is obviously just kind of, you know, the normal area, nothing really going on, normal size apartments, hotels down in that direction. It's actually pretty quiet in this area. If you go down towards Dotonbori, which is in that direction, it's all chaotic. Lots of tourists, lots of people, you know, kind of having a good time, experiencing the canal. I'm not really sure what to expect from where we're going, but it could be interesting. It's going to be probably very different from what we're used to seeing in Japan, considering I've been here for 2 months, kind of documented all the different varieties of areas, the countryside, national parks, the busy ancient cities, the deer, all that stuff. This is going to be different. First thing to note today, the weather is actually a lot nicer than I thought it was going to be. And also I'm not wearing my lav mic, and the reason why I'm doing that is kind of so that we can get the real audio experience when I get into this location. Normally I wear the lav mic when I'm kind of, you know, out and about doing the touristy things, because it's very loud in certain areas because there's typically a lot of tourists. But in this particular scenario, I kind of want to have, you know, as authentic of an experience for myself and for you guys watching on your screens, of course. So we're doing things a little bit different today, but we're getting there. I think we still have about a half an hour, maybe about 2 kilometers. I walk pretty quick, so we should get there relatively quickly. I am glad that the weather is good, though. It was supposed to literally rain all day, but it changed. It'll probably start raining again later on tonight, but at that point I don't really care because I won't be walking around too much. Hey, look at Domino's. Well, that's interesting. We got an amusement laundromat. Never seen that before. It's actually pretty cool. You can literally do some exercise. There's like massage chairs and stuff in there while you wait for your laundry to finish. So we kind of made it over here to a main street. So for those of you who might be new here and haven't really, you know, seen much of Osaka, this is like the normal areas, completely out of the tourist areas. Just people live here, just normal restaurants, just people walking, chilling around. We are approximately a kilometer and a half away now. We basically just got to cross over this way. And what's interesting too is apparently there is a zoo that is like maybe a couple blocks over from where we're going. So it's like, from what I do know is they have been trying to build newer infrastructure to kind of, I guess, clean up the area. So I don't really know how much of that is actually done. But again, I don't really know what to expect. I've seen some pictures, a couple video clips, but nothing too crazy. So it might be overwhelming. Things might be underwhelming because apparently here, things like these areas are typically very kind of covert. They're kind of tucked away, so people generally don't really see it. So the one thing I hear quite often is how clean Japan is, and that is generally true. Most Japanese people are very, very clean, very super hygienic. A lot of people even still wear masks here, even though COVID was pretty much 5 years ago, which is fine. I don't really give a shit if somebody wants to wear a mask. That's up to them. It is mostly true that Japan is relatively clean. I find more in Osaka here that you see more trash, just like that. So apparently that area is a little bit more trashier, but the Japanese garbage collectors here are generally very good, very well organized at cleaning up. Now Osaka is a little bit different because it's kind of like party central. So when you get to Dotonbori by the end of the night, that is when you see all the trash. Right around 2 a.m. into about 3 a.m. you see piles of garbage. Most of it's from the stores, but kind of like around the bridge and the canal area is where you see a lot of garbage all over the ground because most of the tourists and people who were there that day have all left. So you can clearly see it on the ground. So it's not exactly true 100%, but it is mostly true that Japan is probably one of the cleanest and most well-organized countries you will ever come to. But the fact that there are several slums, there's also one in Tokyo we might go and visit as well, which apparently is a little bit more out in the open, but we still got a few days left here in Osaka, so I figured we'd do this first and then maybe document that one further down the road. I'm just genuinely very curious because I've never seen a slum. I have seen homeless people, but generally very few, and mostly just kind of in the Dotonbori area as well. So here's starting to look a little bit different. There's a lot of like fenced off areas for some reason. We're like kind of almost there. I think it's like kind of behind those buildings. And then further down the road is pretty much where the zoo is. So it's interesting where the proximity of this area is and kind of where they decided to place the zoo. Well, now we're starting to see signs of kind of what I'm talking about. There's a person there, but most of the time you won't really see them kind of camping around in the middle of the day. They're kind of just like moving around. So this is an example of the homelessness out here. They're not really staying in one place, but they stick to this kind of area, and they don't want to be a burden on society. That's kind of just a thing. So down from this side, you would really never know. Like anything is going on in those back streets, literally in those buildings right there, just in behind. I'm seeing on Google there's a homeless shelter. So we got to get into that area and kind of just observe. But it's crazy because here it just seems totally normal. Relatively clean, vending machines, stores. So down there is the Tennoji Zoo, which we obviously, I don't think we're gonna have any time to do that today, but just down this way, there's a lot of markings for homeless shelters and things like that. Now, keep in mind that this is not to degrade anybody, but just simply to document the fact that this even exists and how different will it actually be from places like in Canada where we have a very high amount of homelessness right now. Like, it's crazy. All right, we're just entering the area now, and just seeing a lot of bikes. Looks pretty normal so far. Nothing too crazy. Well, there's definitely something going on down there. And that's actually basically where I was heading. I hope nobody's hurt or injured, but it looks like there's a fire truck. Police are there. This area is definitely standing out a little bit. So I'm gonna do a little bit of a turn and maybe a loop around. Or I might just end up going down that street, but on this side, you would literally never know anything's going on here. But there was a lot of the buildings back there I noticed all had bars on the windows, so that's different. Not something you would normally see. Yeah, I'm gonna actually just continue on down this main road here. One thing I'm definitely noticing is a lot of the buildings are closed. I don't even know what the hell's going on right now. There's also a lot of hotels, but like one-star hostels, all specifically in this area. So I did kind of miss my turn, so we're doing a little bit of a loop. There is something I'm noticing I will explain after, but this is interesting. A lot of coin laundry places, kind of just everywhere. Still vending machines, little restaurants. I think we're gonna have to do a loop this way. Still hotels. Interesting. There is somebody sleeping on the bench over there. Nothing too crazy. I mean, one homeless dude and smack dab in one little area is nothing too crazy. That guy almost tripped. Let's go this way. I think we gotta turn left, right. I'm not really sure, but it's not really as kind of broken down as you would think. It kind of feels, you know, like an area where there's obviously a homeless population, but it's not like astronomically depressing. It's a little depressing though. So what I'm noticing really, it's obvious there's a lot of elderly people here who are obviously struggling to get by, especially since last year the yen dropped and things probably got a little bit harder for these people. But what you don't notice is there's not like groups of homeless people. We aren't really at the shelter yet, which we're gonna go to next. I just keep missing my turn because I keep getting distracted by wanting to just kind of film what it looks like. Yeah, there's definitely something going down over there. But yeah, I mean, you see the odd person just kind of like sitting around, but it's not exactly Vancouver. It's definitely much more hidden, that's for sure. But let's see, if we go down this way and then do that loop, we might see a little bit of a different side. But the other thing too is I'm noticing a lot of just mentally ill people just kind of walking past them. They've kind of just been mumbling to themselves, and that's obviously not to take away from mental illness. It's a very, very real thing, you know, schizophrenia and multiple personality disorders and stuff like that. It's just, that's just what I'm observing. Yeah, you definitely see a little bit more trash though. Umbrellas, bikes just everywhere. All right, let's go down this way. This is kind of what I'm talking about. A lot of the windows here in the buildings have bars. These are hostels down there, from what I can tell, because they don't look Japanese. Let's get a little closer down this way. So I think this is more or less the area, I guess. I don't really know. Okay, so this is what's kind of interesting here. On the left, this is a homeless shelter, I think. I'm assuming the cars probably belong to volunteers or employees or whomever. And then on the right, you literally have a hotel. All barred up windows. Hotel Kaga. It's a one-star hotel. I'm gonna actually check what the price is after. But the one thing I am noticing is if you notice, there's all these walls and fences. They've kind of barricaded to separate the homeless people from the rest of the buildings here. And then there's like just little restaurants, there's a karaoke bar. Huh, fascinating. Okay, so this is very different. You have beer and liquor, sake. This is not a common thing at all in Japan even, believe it or not. Beer options. It kind of smells in here too. I gotta get out before I throw up. So one thing I'm noticing is no one locks their bikes apparently. They literally just park their bike, get off and go about their business. So clearly theft is not a thing, which crime rates generally in Japan are very low. I think this might actually be the backside of the shelter. I'm pretty sure. Really not sure actually. Yeah, no, I think it is. It's like extremely like secluded because of the crazy walls. And the other thing too is I found a thrift store, shirts for like 300 yen, which is like $2. So it's very quiet here. This is the other side of the shelter. I'm not sure if this is one too, but this is what I mean. Like these gigantic walls right here is basically what's keeping, you know, two parts of society from, I guess, kind of intermingling, if you will. No one seems to be too bothersome. I've gotten a couple of odd looks because obviously I'm holding a camera and filming. They probably just assumed that I'm a lost tourist, which I kind of am. Just kind of a wandering tourist at this point. But this is so different. It's just like, when you think of slum, you don't think of an area like this. It's like actually kind of clean. Yes, that was definitely the other side of the shelter. So I figured I'd continue down this way, kind of get an idea of what else is in this particular area. Because I haven't really gone all the way down, but I think this is kind of the main area where everybody kind of sticks around, because obviously they're going to stay close to the shelter, I imagine. Not really too sure what this is, but there are kind of pockets of areas that I'm noticing where there's piles of stuff on the ground, old clothes and whatnot. It's interesting to note that the more basic vending machines are just kind of here openly on the street, and then down there's actually another area where they have the alcohol vending machines. I'm also noticing there's more police in this area. I mean, it doesn't really seem like anybody's out of control, really, but... Oh, look at that. You can actually tell where they closed off under the bridge. So that way people can't go in there. Got some more police patrols. Another spot where people's stuff is. Damn, it definitely is a different side of Japan. 100%. Got more vending machines down there. Let's actually go through here. Just make sure no cars are coming first. Let's see what's on the other side. Yeah, this side looks different compared to that side. Wow, what a contrast. That's crazy. So I'm gonna go a little further in, and then at some point I'll just kind of circle around. But one interesting thing to note is here, you don't really feel threatened, even though there's a lot of, you know, mentally ill and homeless people around. It's just, I don't know, I don't feel that way. Sometimes you go in certain areas and it feels a little, you know, aggressive. I'm normally not afraid of homeless people. I could care less. I want to help these people, but yeah, that's just my documentation, I guess. See more cardboard down there. But again, a lot of unlocked bikes. That's crazy. That would definitely not be a thing in Vancouver. Those bikes would be gone so fast. So there is a covered mall, a very popular thing here in Japan. Experience a lot of this in Naha. It's mostly just restaurants, people kind of cycling through. Pretty basic. Could buy appliances from this store. Ooh, that's something. These crows here are massive, but I'd also like to point out that this is where it all is. Look at that thing. There was another one that was even bigger than that, but yeah, so the deeper in we go, the more you begin to notice the area where everybody kind of like lives just in the middle of a park. Interesting. Oh, look at this. This is interesting. This is also a very uncommon thing now. Cigarette vending machines. Wow. I've seen them before. The first time I actually came to Japan, but I think I don't even really know where I'm going at this point. I'm just kind of roaming from street to street. So clearly there are actually pockets. Generally, it looks like everybody kind of sticks around this area where you see they have their kind of makeshift shelters. Something very common that I also see back home, especially now in Canada. Now, obviously, I don't want to get up into people's faces because I feel like that's disrespectful, but just kind of observing from the outside in. Also, when I was walking through, I stopped recording at some point because I realized that there was an illegal gambling site, which I will explain later on. Just something that kind of is transitioning here in Japan that's going to start actually in Osaka, but we will get to that in a moment. But yeah, basically, you can see from afar everyone's campsites, essentially. There's a lot of people just kind of on this strip, just sitting around. The further in you go, the more it looks slummy. We'll just say that. That's for sure. Some decent artwork though, not bad. Kind of strange how it's all built like this though. Very different. No joke, some of the artwork here is phenomenal. Look at that. Somebody actually did that by hand. It looks like almost like a real photo. But you can definitely see the disparity. You can tell it's much, much poorer here. This is probably one of the poorest neighborhoods, if not the poorest neighborhood in the whole country. We will see what Tokyo looks like. I mean, I imagine it's going to just be this, but a lot more people because of the disparity in population size, really. But some of the artwork is really well done. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to start making my way back to Namba, I guess. But I'll kind of explain my thoughts in a moment. Wow, so I just left the other area, literally one block behind me, and you kind of just enter this. It's like night and day. Nice park, nice brand new looking buildings. So I am gonna head towards the tower because I've never done that before, surprisingly. I just never really hang out in this area. But what I can say about what I just saw and experienced there, it's very sad, it's very heartbreaking, especially considering most people in Japan are probably middle to slightly above middle class. And when you think of this country, you generally don't think of that. And the fact that it's so hidden, it's just in this one little pocket, realistically, unless you're staying at one of the hostels over there, you wouldn't really go out of your way to even see it. But what was kind of heartbreaking was the fact that a lot of them are elderly people, and unfortunately it's sad to see them. Some of them were obviously struggling from mental illness. There was one gentleman who was literally picking out cans from the garbage can at the Lawson. Let me stop here for a second. And yeah, a lot of alcohol. A lot of people were just sitting around, walking around, standing around, drinking for the most part, not really doing much of anything. I mean, most of them were old people, but it was visible that most of them were struggling from mental illness. Now they do have a bunch of mental illness facilities back there that obviously try to take care of these people, and probably also in the shelter as well. So there is that, it does exist. It's not like they're not doing anything to help these people. But yeah, just kind of seeing like the elderly people just kind of struggling, talking to themselves. Obviously you see it a lot back home too, don't get me wrong. Actually, it's probably even worse back home, just in my opinion, depending on where you go, in the States or in Canada. But yeah, that was just generally heartbreaking. It always hurts a little to see kind of people struggling like that, of course. But that's pretty much that. That's what that area was all about. The fact that it does exist, like I mentioned, there is also another one in Tokyo, which apparently is significantly larger. So eventually we might document it, we might not. We'll see. We'll see what happens, because once I get to Tokyo, I really only have like 3 days left. But now we're walking into a completely different area. It's like night and day, except for the fact that there's a cigarette machine right over here, which is kind of funny. But yeah, we're gonna go over to this tower, kind of walk around that area and see what all of that's about. It's just kind of like the night and day shift between the slum area back there and then just like the perfectly normal area. And that's kind of why I wanted to document it, because a lot of people always see the nice parts of Japan. No one ever goes to spots like that. It's completely overlooked and just hidden for the most part. But it wasn't chaotic. Like there was no real like chaotic scenes. I didn't really see any evidence of drug abuse. I'm sure it exists. But yeah, let's get to one of the better areas. All right, well, this is a bit of a change of pace. Very different. I've never been to this area. Didn't even know it existed. But the tower, just kind of quickly wanted to see, is just over here. Oh, cool. Nice. This is actually probably where they're doing the expo. Most likely, I think. Or no, I think the expo is more down by like the river area. Oh, actually, that's what I forgot to mention. So there was one spot back there in the market area, and they had like the illegal gaming site. It literally said gaming center. At first, I didn't know what that meant. I was thinking like maybe some sort of esports thing. No, it was like slot machines. Which is funny because illegal is technically gambling. That's what I was gonna say. What I meant to say was gambling is technically illegal here in Japan. But soon enough, they're about to build the first casino right here in Osaka. Rumor has it, it's currently where the expo is. And once those buildings are all torn down, once the expo is done in October, they're actually gonna start building and breaking ground to build an MGM Grand. And it's gonna be the biggest casino, probably the most massive hotel in all of Asia. I think they're probably gonna have the Marina Bay Sands, which is in Singapore, completely beat. But it's just kind of interesting to put that all together, because back there were legit illegal gambling. Now pachinko is legal, but technically it's not gambling because they don't pay you for your tokens. What they do is there's usually a business next door or somewhere else completely where they will buy the tokens from you. So that's kind of how that works. Interesting. Yeah, this is actually pretty cool. Completely different side from where I was. A lot more shops and restaurants. There's a cool temple apparently around here, so I gotta figure out where that is. It's probably closed, but you can still look at it from the outside. Oh wow, look at this. It's like a little mini Dotonbori area. Pretty cool. Well, this looks pretty cool. This is the Osaka Shinsekai. Got a cafe, although I wouldn't mind a coffee right now, but really just want to make it over to this temple. Oh, look at that. We got literally a game. It's probably rigged, but this is actually really cool looking. It's like mostly inside, but not completely. This spot just really seems to stand out at the moment. Probably gonna get something to eat soon if I can find something that seems appealing. I kind of know what I want today, but haven't found it yet. So we're pretty much almost into the actual park. I was gonna say zoo because there is a zoo literally right here, but actually it looks like it's closed. But they're doing some sort of construction, I don't know. Weirdly enough, some of these walls look like they've been here forever. Wait, is the zoo abandoned? They might have actually completely closed it. I have no idea. I mean, I don't hear any animal noises. It's just closed on all sides for some reason. Strange. Oh wow. So we entered the park. There is a shrine, I'm guessing right there, because it's very colorful and pretty. Wow. Didn't really expect this today. Wasn't really sure what we had in store other than the area we went to. So, what we do have here is the Osaka Fine Art Museum, and then whatever's over there. The shrine that I wanted to go to is actually north of that, so I kind of figured why not walk through here and kind of cut through and see what it kind of looks like. It's very pretty. The water's very green though. Okay, I had to go into this section. We're just wasting so much time right now today. But there's something interesting they have in here. I don't know if it's outside or inside. This kind of looks closed right now. Yeah, the doors are all closed. Damn it. Damn it. They had something really cool in there. Oh, that sucks. Okay, so I just checked. Apparently we can still get there. This is closed for some reason. I don't really know why, but whatever. On the other side of this, apparently there's like streets. You can actually walk right through there. I don't know why I chose to walk on this gravel. It's kind of irritating, but apparently they have a Berlin Wall fragment. That I have to see. I've literally been to Berlin, to Checkpoint Charlie, many, many years ago. I didn't film YouTube videos back then, but we went there just to kind of check it out, where the Berlin Wall actually used to be that split East Germany and West Germany. So I gotta see it. Apparently if we walk all the way around 7 minutes, we will get there. So it's gotta be done. Okay, apparently this thing is open on this side instead. That is a cool looking building. Wow. I'm not gonna go in it because I just don't have the time for that today, but. So I'm now on the street that leads up to this fragment. I think I found an abandoned hotel, but we'll take a gander at that later on. That's kind of interesting. I think it's abandoned. Let me see if I could see through a window or something. Not really. Nope. No entry. Anyway, not that important. Actually, wait, look. You can kind of see the entrance from here. Sort of. Huh. Anyway, let's go where we were originally intending on going. So there's like this whole strip here of hotels, and I think they're all like short stay or possibly love hotels. I don't really know, so we're gonna take a picture of it and let that translate, but we're almost there. Almost there. Okay, that's great. So I just missed it by about an hour, but yeah, there's a temple, the gate's closed, and unfortunately it appears that the fragment is literally back there somewhere. We can't even see it from here, can we? That sucks. So I wish they had marked it on Google Maps with a schedule, but they did not, clearly, which is mildly disappointing. So basically, we're pretty much done in this area. I mean, I could keep walking around, but I gotta save some energy because I'm gonna go to Hiroshima tomorrow. I have not been there in 5 years, and I was very impressed, and obviously the learning experience you get from that place is pretty freaking awesome. So what I'm gonna do to save some legs, it is only a 35-minute walk, but I'm gonna take the train instead. And basically we're gonna go on a Nespresso mission, and inside of the same mall where they have the Nespresso, there's tons of restaurants, so I'll probably just eat there and then pretty much chill out for the rest of the night. And then we got 2 more places where we're gonna go, not in Osaka, tomorrow and the day after. Then the day after that, pretty much three more days in Tokyo, and then that's pretty much all she wrote. But I guess I'll translate here what this sign says. So basically it's like scheduled times, if you will. Hang on, I'm trying to translate here. There we go. So it's like time frame. So from like 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. it's 2,500 yen. That's in the morning. If you do 9 till 1 a.m. it's 4,500 yen. So yeah, definitely seems to be a kind of different sort of hotel. It's like a short stay kind of thing, you know. If you want to go hang out with your girlfriend, I guess, or your mistress, or whoever you're going with. So I've changed my mind. I don't know how much more of this vlog I'm actually gonna film. But I decided, you know what, 35 minutes, 1.8 kilometers, it's just a few extra steps, no big deal, and I got some beer to burn off. So I'm gonna do the walk instead. It's kind of like waking me up too. I don't know why, just moving around more is obviously good for the brain, I guess. Good to get out, enjoy the fresh air, and I'm really starting to hate subways and large crowds. Meanwhile, I came here, but we'll see what else we see along the way. Alright, change of plans. We ate here, and it was really good. It's called Gikatsu Daifuku. Literally, if it was in English, that's pretty much what it would say. So it was like basically Wagyu, lightly breaded, almost completely raw, and you basically cook it on this little like hot plate type of thing. They give you miso soup, a side of your choice, which I chose a soft-boiled egg because I need more protein in my life, and it was fantastic. So we're just kind of walking through this area one last time, and I'm gonna try and get to Namba, but we might just detour straight to the cigar shop for tonight. I mean, the mission was more or less accomplished. We did exactly what we came out here to do, and some, and now it's time to just chill. And the next 2 days are basically going to be grind days, film some serious content, and then basically come back to Osaka. And I think we might be going to Kyoto, and then also just hanging around here for the last night, because my cousin is actually coming from Canada for 5 days. I don't know why he's only coming for 5 days. Meanwhile, I've been here for you know, a month at a time, twice back to back. But yeah, he's gonna come here, and we'll probably hang out in Kyoto for 1 day, and Osaka. I don't know what I'm gonna film or what we're gonna do, but it should be a good time either way. Now we got the Mario carts, and they're all basically in costume, which is really funny. Yeah, this is the thing. It used to be kind of different, but apparently they had to change some rules because people were getting upset. Looks fun though. That's hilarious.